In this lesson, I'm going to discuss linear scatter plots and answering some questions about correlation and the line of best fit. Alright, let's take a look. The scatter plot below shows the time spent watching TV and the time spent doing homework by each 21 students last week. Also shown is the line of best fit for the data. What does the point 1815 represent? Well, let's start by taking a look at the graph. I see across the x-axis, which is our input, we have time watching TV in hours. The y-axis, which is the output, time doing homework in hours. And then I see 21 X marks, which shows the data for each of those 21 students. So let's think about what the point 18, 15 represents. Well, 18 is your X value and 15 is your Y value. So we're looking at 18, 15, it appears to be that student right there. Well, so 18 is your X value, which is time watching TV in hours. So for this 18, 15, we could say a student who watched 18 hours of TV did 15 hours of homework. Now let's look at B. For these 21 students, as the time spent watching TV increases, so we're talking about as time watching TV increases, the time spent doing homework tends to, well, we see here that our data is going down, that the Y values are decreasing as the X values are increasing. So we would say the time spent doing homework tends to decrease. So now let's talk about what correlation is. The correlation between two variables is an indication of how the variables are related. The figures below show different types of correlation. Our scatter plot best matches the highlighted one in the middle. This is the one that our example is like. You'll see that this data is going as a negative slope, right? It's going downward as the X values are getting larger, the Y values are getting smaller. So that best matches this one in the middle. So the one on the left here, we have a positive correlation. This shows a positive slope. The one in the center shows a negative slope. And notice this one over to the right, there's really no correlation. I can't draw a line that would best describe this data. No obvious pattern. So my question C here, it says, for these 21 students, there is a positive, negative, or no correlation between time spent watching TV and time spent doing homework. We would call this a negative correlation. Lastly, we're going to talk about the line of best fit. This is this line that best represents our data. In this case, it's a negative slope. So we're drawing a line that tries to average out the data points. And that's what we call the line of best fit. The reason we like to do this is so that we could try to make predictions for perhaps where there's gaps in the data, that we can use this line to make predictions. So using the line of best fit, we would predict that a student watching 15 hours of TV would do homework for approximately how many hours? So I'm going to go over on the x-axis, because that's our TV time. I'm going to go over to 15, and that's what this red line is right here. And we find our mark on the line of best fit, take it over to the y-axis, and that would appear to be 15 hours of homework. My last question is saying, let's write a possible equation for this line of best fit. we need two things. We need to know the slope and the y-intercept. So let's go ahead and look for the slope of this line. Remember, slope is rise over run. To find that slope. So I like to look across my graph, and I'm going to look for what appear to be two perfect points. There they are. I see those two. And then I'm going to look for rise. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I have a rise of 5. And a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Now remember, this is a negative slope. I went up and to the left, so this is negative. So this is going to be y equals negative 5 over 7x plus, now we need to look for that y-intercept. And I know this is not perfect. Remember, I wrote possible equation. This looks like it's hitting about 26. So I'll go with 26 for my possible equation for this line of best fit. I hope you understand scatter plots, correlation, and the line of best fit a little bit better. Thank you for watching.